children. Here we are starting with nervous system. There are two parts of nervous system. Central nervous system or CNS and peripheral nervous system or PNS. Central nervous system again divided into two parts, brain and spinal cord. Spinal cord is made up of nerves which supply information to think about. Thinking involves more complex mechanisms and neural connections. These are connected in the brain, which is the main coordinating center of the body. The CNS or central nervous system receive information from all parts of the body and integrate it. Look at this picture. These are some of the voluntary actions. So you know the term what you mean by voluntary action. So voluntary actions are controlled by our wish. So whatever decision taken by our brain, we need to respond. Yes, here in first picture, you know the person here, he is writing a letter. First a decision should be taken in the brain. What need to write? After taking the decision, we need to respond. We need to use our muscles to write. So central nervous system means it contains only brain and spinal cord. The brain also has to send messages to the muscles. The nervous system communicates with the muscle. The communication between the central nervous system and the other parts of the body is facilitated by the peripheral nervous system. You look at this flow chart. Here peripheral nervous system again divided into two types of nerves, cranial nerves and spinal nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Here you can see the two parts of nervous system, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system together labeled. Cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves arising from the brain, spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. And brain and spinal cords are the parts of central nervous system. In proportion to the size of the body, the human brain is the largest among all animals. The adult brain contains about 2% of the total body weight. The brain has three major regions, namely the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain consists of cerebrum, hypothalamus, thalamus and pituitary gland. And this cerebrum is the largest portion of the brain. So this forebrain, because of cerebrum, forebrain is the largest portion of the brain. And these are the functions of forebrain. Main thinking part of the brain. Forebrain is the main thinking part, and cerebrum, you know the cerebrum is the largest portion. That is the main thinking part of the brain. And memory storage region. This whatever past experiences we have, this all the experiences are stored in the cerebrum. Things what you learn, the books what you read, the memories whatever you have, and the faces, the images of your friends. So all the informations are stored in the cerebrum. It is like the memory card. So all the informations are stored here. So cerebrum is the seat of intelligence. It controls the voluntary actions. That means you know the sense organ. We have 5 sense organs. These sense organs are getting the impulses, and these impulses are transferred to the forebrain with the help of nerves. And this, after getting the impulses, the brain will integrate what to do next. Okay, after smelling the thing, brain will understand, yes, this is the smell of that thing. Otherwise, after seeing a stone, the brain will be understand, yes, this is stone, so we no need to stamp on it. So after seeing that, brain will decide something to do. So we can tell it controls the voluntary actions also. Next is, it is the center associated with hunger. we will be feeling, yes, I am feeling hungry, so I need food now. That feelings comes from the forebrain, mainly from the cerebrum. And the next parts of forebrains are hypothalamus, thalamus and pituitary gland. You may heard about subconscious and unconscious mind. The subconscious and unconscious minds are also located in the cerebrum. That means the many past experiences are located here. It is stored in the cerebrum. And because of the new experiences, we will not be recalling the past experiences very fast. Sometimes we will be seeing dreams. That dreams, suddenly we will not be remembering the things. But when hypnotized and skillfully one person, the skill what he is having to hypnotize, then slowly we will be recalling our past experiences. That all the past experiences all stored in the cerebrum. Next we can go to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a part which is coming under forebrain, and it is controlling our body temperature. You know that we human beings are having a fixed body temperature, that is maintained by hypothalamus, and thalamus is the next part which is having the having the feelings of pain and pleasure. This pain and pleasure, sometimes after seeing a movie, a very tragedy movie, then we will be feeling pain in our mind. That feelings and all, because that feelings and all directed by the thalamus. And pleasure, we will be feeling happy. Okay, that pleasure also because of thalamus. And next is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is one of the major gland. We will be calling as master gland. The reason and all you will be studying in the next chapter. Next region is midbrain. Midbrain, from the word we can understand middle of the brain. So this midbrain is having a function that it connects the forebrain to the hindbrain. Whatever impulses getting to the forebrain, we need help of all the parts of the brain. So forebrain will integrate, think, and the memories will be there in the forebrain that need to connect to the hindbrain or hindbrain. Okay, next is next function can tell control the reflex movement of eye and ear. The reflex actions of eye, like suddenly we are blinking. If any dust comes suddenly without our decision, brain will not decide to blink, but suddenly we will blink. After blinking only we will understand, because of this dust particles we have closed our eyes. This reflex actions of eye and ears is loud voice. If you are hearing, after some time, for a while you cannot hear properly, that is the reflex action taken by the ear. So these two are the functions of midbrain. The third part of the brain is hindbrain. The three parts are coming under hindbrain is cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum. So many of these involuntary actions are controlled by midbrain and hindbrain. Here three parts you can see. So cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. This medulla oblongata is the part which controls the involuntary actions, and cerebellum controls the voluntary actions, like maintain balance of the body, like walking in a straight line, riding a bicycle, picking up a pencil. So these are because to balance, because of our balancing the body. And next is to maintain the posture of the body. We have sitting posture, standing posture, running posture, sleeping posture. We need to stand in a straight way. This all the posture controlling is a part of cerebellum. And coordinate muscular activities. If we need to run, jump and all these muscular activities are controlled by cerebellum. And next is controls respiratory activities. Respiratory activities that control comes under hindbrain, which control pons. Pons are the part which is controlling the respiratory activities. The next is coming under medulla oblongata, the involuntary activities. The involuntary activities are controlled by medulla oblongata. Involuntary activities like coughing, vomiting, sneezing, blood pressure, heartbeat, salivation, etc. These involuntary activities are controlled by medulla oblongata. You know that an alcoholic person, when drunk, generally he can't walk properly. That is because the cerebellum, due to the effect of alcohol, is unable to coordinate muscular movements properly. So the person cannot walk properly. Medulla oblongata is the lowest portion of the brain located at the base of the skull. So after medulla oblongata, there is another part called brain stem. This is located at the base of our brain and connects the brain to the spinal cord. So brain stem is located at the base of the brain and connects brain to the spinal cord. Here you can see cerebrum is divided into two halves. This right and left cerebral hemisphere, we can call it as cerebral hemisphere. So children, we can conclude today's class. Today we have studied about types of nervous system and the difference between CNS and PNS. That means one more example I will give. This CNS and PNS alone cannot work properly. For example, suppose you have touched a hot object by your hand. The hot stimulus first have reached to the or contact with your PNS, that means the nerves, and that nerves will be giving the information to the CNS. If it is a reflex action, the decision will be taken by the spinal cord, and if it is the voluntary actions, the decision will be integrated or given by the brain. So you need to describe what is CNS and PNS. And finally, the main functions of brain and the three regions and its functions. So thank you children.